There are a few fighting games coming out this year, 2021, among them KOF 15, Phantom Breaker Omnia, and the topic of today's video, Guilty Gear Strive. I wanted to focus a little bit on Strive because I think it's looking really promising, especially for newer players. We've also obviously been seeing some footage from the open beta from the last few days, and so far it looks really good. I haven't been able to play the open beta because I'm playing on PC and I don't have a PS4 or PS5, but from the footage we have been seeing, it's looking very hopeful. The rollback looks fantastic, America to Japan is no problem, so matchmaking will be a lot less of an issue. I'm hoping there will be some kind of PC beta in the future so we can kind of get a better gauge of what the player base is going to look like, but we can only hope for that. The main thing I'm wondering about is how large exactly the player base will be. The most popular fighting games right now are Street Fighter V, Mortal Kombat 11, Tekken, and Smash if you want to include it. So what do all these games do right to get large player or viewer bases? All these games, lightly excluding Street Fighter V, have elements that make it easier to play at a lower level but have enough depth to make it enjoyable to play at a higher level. Mortal Kombat 11 has options for simplified inputs and makes it easier to pull off combos. Tekken can be pretty masher-friendly at the lower levels, and Smash has a lot more freedom of movement to allow for more breathing room. All three of these games can be taken to pretty insane levels on the higher end, so that kind of completes the circle of an outer ring of circulating novices and an inner ring of accomplished veterans with more accessible bridges between these levels. Now, Guilty Gear has mechanics that are extremely multi-purpose, so the tension meter, Roman cancels, the dust button, and the older games are very well crafted but aren't very beginner-friendly. Exard kind of warmed up to newer players, I have some hours in it myself, and had a great tutorial, but still lacked the bridge for accessibility, I think. Combining that with bad netcode means the population stays relatively low despite being a really good game. Now, it looks like Strive fixes a lot of these issues. They kind of address it in a creative way, adding clarity and improving matchmaking instead of just making the game easier. Now, you can look at this excerpt from the developer's Backyard third volume from August 28th of last year with Kitano and Daisuke Ishiwatari to kind of go over some of their ideology behind balancing the game, which I kind of appreciate as a newer player. Kitano says in the interview that simple and easy are separate concepts, and with previous games in the series, new players would not be able to understand what's going on, so they wouldn't feel very interested or motivated to improve. He also says that getting new players to enjoy matches is not really to make the game itself easier, but rather making a ranking system that makes it easier for them to play with others who are around the same skill level. I think this is really good because having a consistent challenge is a really good way to go, but making it not so blindingly easy or crushingly difficult to get a win in a match. So it looks like Strive will carry a similarly high skill ceiling as the previous games while lowering the skill floor, which will make the game really enticing to new players and kind of expand their player base. Now, there are going to be some interesting trade-offs with the new systems as compared to some of the previous games that we've been seeing with the open beta, like combos being shorter but a little bit more freeform, the game being more ground-focused than previously, and being able to convert into larger combos off of random hits because of the huge screen freezes they have. Now, as a newer player, I really appreciate these ideas, even though I know some people have been kind of complaining about the different feel from previous games like Exard and X2, but, newer players kind of find these a little bit easier to handle. Big combos can be really intimidating, especially when looking at footage of the previous games, and having a little bit more time to react to getting a random hit or counter hit is pretty nice. Having played a couple of the older games as well, the huge air combos really intimidated me, so I think I'm going to appreciate the more ground-focused gameplay in Strive. And then there's the big cherry on top, which is that the Strive gameplay has looked a lot easier to understand, and I can more easily see myself pulling off what others are able to do. Combos don't really go too far above like 6 to 8 hits, rather than like the big, 20 hit combos that you might have been able to see in some of the previous games. So my thoughts on the game so far are, if the full release goes as well as the open beta has gone thus far, Strive might be one of the biggest fighting games on the market in 2021. Of course, I'm still looking forward to the other games like KOF and Phantom Breaker, but I think Strive is going to be holding my attention for this year. Anyways, let me know what you think. Are you going to be pre-ordering Strive or getting it on launch? And what do you think about the changes to Strive as opposed to the older games if you've played them? A lot of my viewpoints are coming from that of a newer player, so I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you've been playing Guilty Gears for a while, or even just other anime fighters. I'm really looking forward to launch. I think I'm going to be maining Ramlethal, and I definitely plan on putting out some videos on Strive once it actually releases. So stick around and hopefully we'll be able to fight in-game. Anyway, that's it for today. I know it's kind of a shorter video than the last one, but I'm still kind of getting into the groove of content creation as a whole, so hopefully I'll be able to make some more videos on some of the other ideas I have. Again, let me know what you want to see in the comments, any other games you want me to play or content you want to see in general, and I'll try and see what I can do to get it done. Thanks for watching and see you next time.